We came up with a revenue estimate. We allocated the revenue that we had available. Now we're in the process of allowing the appropriations, working with the appropriation chairs to spend the money that's available and kind of overseeing the whole process. So I think it's a good process. I'm glad the appropriation chairs are, I think, doing a very good job. And so we'll continue to work with them to make sure that we only spend money that we have.
And I know the number was
33.2 billion.
33.2. And how is that going to be divided?
It's already been divided, so we made allocations. We took the money for the pensions and the debt service off the top, and then took the available money below that and allocated it based upon the historical allocation percentages that were also established by the Revenue and Finance Committee. So it's a set number. They know how much money. Each committee chair knows how much money they have available to spend, and no more than that amount of money. So that's after paying the debt service and making sure the pension payment was made.
Can you tell me how that whole idea came about? Why is it?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Why is the House taking a
This is a very technical.
Well, because what we've been doing hasn't been working. What the state has been doing hasn't been working for the last many years. So we're going to try something new and different in the way that a small business or the way that a family would balance their checkbook, which is figure out how much money you have, figure out what your needs are, and don't spend any more money than you have.
Do you think this is, I guess, wresting power away from women a little bit?
I don't know how it would be, because this is solely a function of a co-equal branch of government, so it really doesn't have anything to do with wresting power from the governor. We're simply doing a constitutional power that we already exercised and that we already had in place in a different manner. It has nothing to do with the constitutional authority of the governor to veto or sign a bill.
So why is it this year? Because it seems like previous years.
Because we just had a massive tax increase, a large tax increase, and we still don't have enough money. And so we have got to tighten our belts. And when you go to the taxpayers and say, you need additional money, you better make sure that you're spending the money you have as rationally and reasonably as possible and be good stewards of the people's money. And so the way that the state in the past has done things is being improved. There's new law in place which requires the way that we're going about this. This is the way that it needs to be done. I think that the vast majority of people in the state appreciate the way the state is handling the financial fiscal condition of the state and the taxpayers' money. I think this is a positive step in the right direction, and I hope that we continue down that road. And it's going to be the job of myself and the Republican spokesperson on our committee, working with the appropriation chairs, to make sure that the state doesn't get carried away and spend more money than it has.
So from your previous experience, how would you compare this to previous years?
It's night and day. I mean, there's no comparison between this and prior budgets. And I'd also like to say that because of the amount of money that we estimated and the fact that we took a very cautious and conservative revenue estimate, it's going to require significant spending restrictions and spending cuts. So the people that have said that we need to see cuts with regards to the state spending, that's taking place right now in the Appropriations Committee. It's going to, because that's all the money we have. So even after a tax increase, you're still looking at significant cuts because there's not sufficient money to run the programs at the levels that they were running in the past.
And what do you think the outcome of the chair having more power will be?
Well, I think it'll be a good one. I think it's already been a good one. I think the process is something which has been universally supported. We've passed a third of the budget already in bipartisan, unanimous manner, and I hope we continue to do that.